Hi everyone, good to see you all here today. How are you all doing? Great. Jessica says she's doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm doing pretty good as well. I see that everyone has joined the session, so we are going to begin, okay? Today we are going to continue our classes with math. Okay, we're gonna do our mathematics lesson today. And the topic for today is equal or not. I'll give you a little hint. The slide has some shapes and some lines that can tell you a little more about why the topic for today is equal or not. Let's continue. But before we go into the lesson, I have a situation that I need your help with. Are you all willing to help? Okay, great. This is Anthony. Anthony goes to a primary school not far from ours. The situation is that Anthony's teacher gave him a project where he has to label and classify shapes between symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. The problem is that Anthony does not remember what a symmetrical shape is and what an asymmetrical shape is, as well as he does not remember what a line of symmetry is. What we need to do today is remind Anthony of what these things are. But we didn't learn this as yet. So what y'all think we're gonna do today? Right, we're gonna learn about the lines of symmetry as well as symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. So we can help Anthony with his project, right? Today we are going to learn about lines of symmetry, the characteristics of symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes, the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. Before we continue, anyone has any questions, any concerns, anything you all want to clear up before? Okay, great. The first thing we are going to do is learn about the characteristics of symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. We are going to look at a short video.
When an object has symmetry, we say it is symmetrical. When an object does not have symmetry, we say it is asymmetrical. An image that has symmetry, a line in the middle, imaginary, folded in half along that line, and the shapes will match up. When an object has symmetry, we say it is symmetrical. When an object does not have symmetry, we say it is asymmetrical. An image that has asymmetry, a line in the middle, imaginary, folded in half along that line, and the shapes won't match up. When an object has symmetry, we say it is symmetrical. When an object does not have symmetry, we say it is asymmetrical.
Right, wasn't that really interesting and wasn't that really catchy? I find out a really catchy song. Can't get it out of my head. Anyways, what did y'all notice considering we spoke about what we will learn today? What y'all noticed in the song? Right, Jessica said they mentioned lines of symmetry, right? What else? Very good, Kimberly. Symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. That's what we're going to learn about today. Yep. What exactly is a line of symmetry? Kevin is saying it passes through a shape. Right. So it passes through a shape and divides it into equal parts. Now I have a shape here that I will show you all. I will draw a line. I have a triangle. I will draw a line and show you all how the line of symmetry works. This is my line of symmetry. It passes from top to bottom, yeah, through the shape, and the two sides are equal. When it's folded, fold the shape. When it's folded, it does not overlap because the two sides are equal. Folded, two sides are equal. It is a line of symmetry is also called a mirror line. So let's look at another shape. Look at the star at the bottom of the screen. The line passes through the top to the bottom, and it divides the shape into two parts, two equal parts. Okay, let's look at some other examples of lines. No, actually, yeah, we'll look at some other examples. Look at these shapes. A shape can have multiple lines of symmetry. So look at the examples here that we have. This triangle has three lines of symmetry. This star also has a number of lines of symmetry. The flower, you all remember that we did flowers in the previous class, in the science class. We did parts of the flower as well as the national flowers from different Caribbean islands. Right, so we're gonna actually use flowers as well because flowers can be symmetrical and asymmetrical. This flower happens to be symmetrical and has multiple lines of symmetry. A shape that has multiple lines of symmetry as well is a circle. A circle has multiple lines of symmetry. Yeah. You all understand what a line of symmetry is now? You all think you understand what you think it is? Right, it's a line that passes through a shape that divides it into two equal parts. Very good. Now that we know what a line of symmetry is, we're going to move on to the characteristics of a symmetrical shape. What exactly is a symmetrical shape? When a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle of a shape and the shape has two equal sides, it is said to be symmetrical. So a symmetrical shape is the same on both sides. Let me give you all an example. I have a square. And I drew a line of symmetry down the middle. And this line of symmetry divided this square into two equal parts. So when I fold it, remember from in the video, when I fold it, it adds up. Yeah? No overlapping and two equal sides, and it adds up. Let's look at the shapes at the bottom of the screen. The first shape, the rectangle, I added a line of symmetry to show you all that the line that passes through the center divides the shape into two equal sides. Similarly with the triangle as well as the circle. With the circle, I added two lines of symmetry because circles have multiple lines of symmetry, just as the one that I showed you all. The circle, I added two lines of symmetry. When I fold it, it doesn't overlap. It's equal on the both sides. Fold it along the other line. It doesn't overlap. Equal on the both sides. This is a symmetrical shape. Similarly to the triangle, remember I showed you all the triangle just now. Fold it doesn't overlap, and the triangle is on the screen as well. This triangle is a symmetrical shape. The circle is a symmetrical shape as well as the square. And the square also has multiple lines of symmetry. It has one this way, one going this way, one going this way, and one going this way. It has one, two, three, four lines of symmetry, yes. Let's look at some other examples of symmetrical shapes. You all notice that there's another flower in this image because we looked at flowers in the last lesson, and there are also symmetrical and asymmetrical flowers. Look at the apple, and all these shapes have a line of symmetry dividing it into two equal parts. Now that we learned about lines of symmetry and symmetrical shapes, we are going to learn about asymmetrical shapes. What do you all think an asymmetrical shape is? Right. It's a shape that let's look at it. So what is an asymmetrical shape? When a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle of a shape and the shape has two different sides and the sides are not equal, the shape is said to be asymmetrical. The shape is different on both sides. An asymmetrical shape is different on both sides. I have one here. Let me show you all. I drew a line of symmetry down the middle of this shape. It's a odd shape. It's a irregular shape. Let me fold it. It doesn't match up. The two sides are not equal, so it overlaps and it does not match up. Therefore, it's an asymmetrical shape. Also, look at the shapes at the bottom of the screen. The first shape, I drew lines of symmetry down the middle of the three shapes and they don't match up because they are asymmetrical shapes, right? Let's look at some other examples. Look at these flowers. We looked at actually at symmetrical flowers. Now we're going to look at asymmetrical flowers. I drew a line of symmetry down the middle of that flower, and as we can see, both sides are not equal. Therefore, these three flowers are asymmetrical. Very good. Also, look at the blue, the green, and the burgundy shape. I drew a line down the blue shape, and these three shapes are asymmetrical. Also, look at the last shape, the flower. I drew a line down the middle. And remember, we looked at the different parts of the flower, the pistil, the anther, the filament, the stigma, the style. And we learned about these different parts. And the right side of the flower has these parts, but the left side doesn't. Therefore, the both sides are not equal, making the shape or making this flower an asymmetrical flower. Very good. Do you all have any questions, any comments so far? Anything you all want to ask? Anything you all need cleared up? Not so far? Okay. Now we have a little activity. I've created a Padlet forum for you all. I'm going to share my screen now and show you all the Padlet forum. Okay. You all are going to create a post where you upload a picture of a shape, or you can draw a shape. Actually, you can draw a shape on this. State whether the shape is symmetrical or asymmetrical. If the shape is symmetrical, state how many lines the shape has, and whether, depending on if the shape is symmetrical or asymmetrical, state why you think it is, whatever you choose the shape to be. I added an example for you all to kind of look at. So I did a symmetrical shape, a circle, and I wrote a description saying the shape below is symmetrical because when a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle of the shape, the two parts of the shape are equal. This shape also includes multiple lines of symmetry, meaning the circle. Excuse me, and remember I drew two lines of symmetry on the circle earlier. I'm giving you all a couple of minutes to complete this activity and then I will comment on some of the posts that I see. I'm already starting to see some people posting. I'm seeing that Jessica posted a square and she says that this is a symmetrical shape, right? Because when the line of symmetry is drawn down the middle, the shape is divided into two equal parts. The both sides of the shape is the same. The both sides are the same. Very good, Jessica. Kevin included an irregular shape, and he said that this shape is asymmetrical because when he tried to draw a line down the middle, the both sides were not equal. They were different. They did not match up when if you imagine the shape folding, the two sides did not match up. Very good. Y'all are doing so well on this activity. Right, so we've completed the first part of our lesson. Now we're gonna move on. You all have any questions so far? Anything you all want to share? Kimberly is saying that she is enjoying the learning about different types of shapes actually, and as well as the symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. I am as well. Now we're gonna move on to the second part of the lesson where we are going to be learning about the difference between excuse me, the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. I'm just going to drink a sip of water, excuse me. Okay, what do you all notice? Let's look at the first image on the top left-hand corner of the screen, the black and white image. Let me just circle it so you all will know. Let's look at this image. Actually, let me redo that because, right, let's look at this image. What do you all notice about the two trees? The tree on the left has a line of symmetry drawn down the middle, and the two sides are what? Right, the same, making it a symmetrical shape. Very good. And what about the tree on the right? It has a line of symmetry drawn down the middle, and the two sides are different. Very good, making it an asymmetrical shape. Right. Let's look at the other one with the yellow and the orange tree. Oh, and I draw a circle. Let's look at the yellow tree. The yellow tree has a line of symmetry drawn down the middle. And what kind of shape is this? Very good. It's equal on both sides, the same on both sides, making it a symmetrical shape. And I would like someone to describe the orange tree to me. Kevin volunteered. Go ahead, Kevin. Right, he said that the line of symmetry is drawn down the middle, but the two sides are not equal, they are different, and that this is an asymmetrical shape. Very good. So we're already noticing that the characteristics, the differences in the characteristics of both types of shapes. Yes. let's move on to let's move on to what are the differences. A symmetrical shape are the symmetrical shapes are the same on both sides when a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle. As I already showed you, the square is a symmetrical shape. The line of symmetry is drawn down the middle and two equal parts. Symmetrical shape. However, the difference between the two of them is a symmetrical shape is the same on both sides when the line of symmetry is drawn down the middle, but an asymmetrical shape is different on both sides when the line of symmetry is drawn down the middle. One of them, which is the symmetrical shape, is the same on both sides. The other one, which is the asymmetrical shape, different on both sides, right? You're understanding everything so far? Very good. Let's look at some shapes. So you all are going to tell me what kind of shapes are these by looking at their characteristics. Now, all of them have a line of symmetry drawn down the middle. Explain these shapes to me. Right, so Joshua is volunteering to explain, and he is saying that line of symmetry is drawn down the middle of each shape, and it's dividing the shape into two equal parts, and the both parts are the same. Very good. Right, so these are what kind of shapes? Right, symmetrical shapes. Very good. So we already learned about symmetrical shapes. Let's learn how to differentiate between so we looked at symmetrical shapes. Let's look at some other kinds of shapes. What are these shapes? And I have lines of symmetry drawn down two of them. Very good. You are picking up so quickly asymmetrical shapes. And we are seeing the difference between them, that the symmetrical shapes are the same on both sides when a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle, and the asymmetrical shapes are different on both sides when the line of symmetry is drawn down the middle. Yes? You all have any questions, any comments, anything you all want to add? So now we have a little game, okay? We have a little activity. It's really fun. A little activity. I'm gonna switch my screen to the game. So it's a symmetry sorting game. I'm gonna choose shapes and you all are going to tell me which box, symmetrical or asymmetrical. Symmetrical, why? Right, because the line divides it into two equal parts. Very good. Symmetrical or asymmetrical? Why? Right, the two parts don't match up. It's not equal. Very good. Which kind of shape is this? Right, very good. It's asymmetrical because the line of symmetry divides it into two parts, but the parts are not equal. This one is a bit tricky. What do y'all think? No, it's not symmetrical. Look at it closely. The line is dividing it into two parts, but the top part, the top area is smaller than the bottom area, making it unequal. So it's actually asymmetrical, right? What kind of shape is this? Yes, very good. Two equal sides, symmetrical. What kind of shape is this? Right, two different sides, unequal sides, asymmetrical. Right, someone says asymmetrical. Great. What kind of shape is this? Asymmetrical? Why you say that? Right, because the line is dividing it, but the sides are not equal. It's different. Very good. The same shape from last time. What you all think? Asymmetrical. Very good. What kind of shape is this? Right, asymmetrical. Right. And this one, this is our last one. We're going to stop after this. Symmetrical, why? Right, because the line of symmetry is dividing it into two equal parts. Very good. Nice. You all are doing pretty well. You all enjoying the lesson so far? I'm going to share back my screen. We just had a little game. We learned about the lines of symmetry, we learned about the characteristics of symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. We learned about the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes. What do we have to do next? Okay, now we're gonna do a little activity. You all are going to use the Bristol boards that I told you all to organize for class, and you will draw up a table. This is the table that you will draw. I split it into two tables because I didn't put all on one slide. But you all will do one continuous table with two columns and 11 rows. One row for the heading and 10 rows for the shapes. What you all are going to do is you all are going to stick each shape in a different row, and in the classification column you are going to write whether it's symmetrical or asymmetrical. I'll give you all a couple minutes to complete this activity. When you all are done, say so and we'll comment on it. You all will display your chart on the screen and we can comment on them. I'm seeing Kimberly saying that she's finished already. Let's see. I'll stop sharing my screen so I can look at your charts. Great. Right, Kimberly. So, okay, I'm seeing your chart. It looks very colorful, very creative, nice. All your classifications are correct. Very good, very good. Kevin wants to share his. Go ahead, Kevin. Right. Okay, I'm looking at your chart. Right. Okay, one thing, you put a shape that is asymmetrical as symmetrical. Remember, the difference between them is that when a line is drawn down a shape and it has two equal sides, or the sides are the same, it's symmetrical. And when a line is drawn down a shape and the sides are different, it's asymmetrical. You understand now? Okay, very good. Right. Okay, Kimberly. Kimberly showed her hers. Who else wants to volunteer? Jessica. Right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let's see yours. Nice. Nice. Okay. Very neat. Right. All your classifications are correct. Great. You all are picking up really quickly. You all have any questions so far? Anything you want to add? Right. So this is the first. This is my table that I created. What did we learn today? Did we learn about lines of symmetry? Yeah, Kevin is saying yes. So tell me, what is a line of symmetry? Right. It's also called a mirror line. Yeah. Yeah. And it's a line that divides a shape down the middle and divides the shape into two equal parts. Very good. And shapes can have multiple lines of symmetry. Very good. Just like the circle that I showed you all. And I draw two lines. Yes, it can have multiple lines. Did we learn about the characteristics of symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes? We did. So I want someone to talk about symmetrical shapes for me. Right. So when our line of symmetry is drawn down the middle and the two sides of the shape is equal or the same, the shape is a symmetrical shape, like the square. Asymmetrical shape. Right. So when a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle and the two sides of the shape are unequal or different, this is known as an asymmetrical shape. And lastly, did we learn about the difference between symmetrical and asymmetrical shapes? We did. I want someone to quickly recap on that. Right, Kimberly? Yes, the difference is that a symmetrical shape, when a line is drawn down the middle, is the same on both sides, whereas an asymmetrical shape, when a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle, are different on both sides. Yeah? You all have any questions before we continue? No, you all clear on everything? Okay, great. Now we have a little quiz, but don't worry, it's really easy. It's just everything that we spoke about today in class. You all will get through it. I emailed you all the link already, so click on the link, complete the quiz, make sure to include your first name and last name, and now we're gonna correct it together in class. I'll give you all some time to do that. Let me know in the chat when you all are finished, when you all have completed the quiz. You all must read the instructions carefully, read the questions carefully, and attempt all the questions. Right. Right, I'm seeing some people saying that they are finished already. Let's start correcting then. I will need to share my screen. Okay. This is the game. Let me just get the... Right. Let me zoom up on this a bit. You all are going to be answering these questions for me, okay? Right, first name, last name. Choose the symmetrical shape from the shapes given below. Which one did you all choose? Kevin said option 1. Is that correct? Okay, Kimberly, let us know why. Okay, Kimberly is saying that she held her ruler up to the screen when she was doing the quiz, and when she had an imaginary line of symmetry, the two sides were different, meaning that it's an asymmetrical shape. Right, so she's saying that option 3 is the correct answer because when she held her line up, acting as a line of symmetry, the both sides were equal or the same. Right, very good. Question 2. When a line can be drawn in the middle of a shape and the shape will have two equal sides, the shape is said to be asymmetrical. An asymmetrical shape is the same on both sides. Is this true or false? Very good. It's false because why? Tell me why. Right? When a line is drawn down the middle of a shape and the shape has two equal sides, it's actually symmetrical. Very good. Question 3. When a line is drawn in the middle of a shape and the shape has two different or not equal sides or unequal sides, the shape is said to be symmetrical. A symmetrical shape is different or not the same on both sides. What do y'all think about this statement? Right, very good. It's obviously false because when a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle of a shape and it does not have equal sides, it's known as an asymmetrical shape. Very good. Question 4. Is the shape below symmetrical or asymmetrical? Let's see the options. Symmetrical because when a line is drawn through it, there are equal sides. Is it? No, not that one. Asymmetrical because when a line is drawn through it, there are equal sides. Let's discuss that statement a bit. An asymmetrical shape when a line is drawn through it have very good different sides, not equal sides. The shape is not symmetrical. So it's asymmetrical because when a line is drawn through it, there are no equal sides. So both sides of the flower are different when a line of symmetry is drawn down the middle. Question 5. Choose the asymmetrical shape from the shapes given below. What did you all choose? Joshua is saying that he chose option 3 because when he held his ruler up to the screen on the shape, it will the two sides were unequal or different, whereas as opposed to all the other shapes, the two sides were equal in all the other shapes. But he found that this one was the only one with two different sides. I agree with him. Y'all did really well on this little quiz. I hope you all enjoyed the quiz and I hope you all enjoyed the session. Do you all have any questions, any comments, anything you all want to add? Kimberly is saying that she enjoyed the session very much. Yes, I enjoyed it as well. You all forgot to tell Anthony what the um what the lines of symmetry. Oh yes, you all did that already. Thanks for reminding me. Right, so thank you all for your attention and participation in this lesson. If you all have any questions, you can feel free to message me, ask me. You can ask me now. Any questions? I know I asked before and nobody had anything, so you all can feel free to ask me on the Google Classroom and I will respond. Thank you for your attention and your participation in this lesson. I hope you all enjoyed it and I hope you all had fun. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.